Hello and welcome back to VITA Social News. Today, and you all know it already because I mentioned it the whole last week, that our theme this week is VITA AMBRIA, the new zirconia reinforced lithium disilicate press material, press ceramic. And the best thing I can do is to get an expert here, and I think you all know him. He's a German master dental technician. He is self-employed since over 26 years. And I think because he was lecturing worldwide, everybody knows him. It's Juergen Frайтag from Bad Homburg. Hi, Juergen.
Hi, Michael. Nice to meet you. Hi, guys outside there. Welcome from my side.
Yeah, and I'm so happy that you have the chance and the time. I heard you have still a lot of work to do, that you have the time to talk with me about the new material. And I don't think that everybody knows you were one of the first guys testing the material and were making the first clinical cases with it.
That's absolutely right. Yeah. So what we missed in our lab was a pressing material, which is really has this edge stability, so that we can work with this material really properly, without all this risk of breaking edges and all these things. So for my lab, this is really important that we have a maximum on the safety to do our jobs, and instead of doing them twice or three times. So that's why we look for a material which is really has a stability that enables us to do every case how we want to do it, with thin margins, etc., etc.
You already told me with a beer on a bar last time that it's so good on the edges that even your wife can sandblast it.
Oh yeah. Okay. I have to be careful, because she's a really good technician, and she works now for 10 years with me. So I have to be careful what I say, because anyway, she's going to the social media, So no, no, she really helps me a lot, and she's the one, who invests my stuff, and she does all the cleaning, and sandblasting and all these things. And that was the first thing what she told me. Is that, look, it's really, really easy to sandblast it, because it enables you to give more pressure on it, a little bit, and you get it really clean, and so you have a really low, this layer, from the pressing what you have on the inlays, and on the veneers. And it's really low, and she said it's a really great material. So for her, it's really, really good, because it makes her life much easier. So with the wife, when her life is easy, my life is easy too. So.
Absolutely, and tell your wife that I was just kidding.
I know.
No, I know her, and she is a really good teacher. I saw some cases from her, and they are excellent. But yeah, can you tell us or show us some cases with VITA AMBRIA? Can you?
Oh, for example, let's choose this case here, because this is one of these cases. What we do a lot of times is veneers which they are not non-prep, but they are really, really low prep veneers. So, and what you can see that you mentioned in this area here, you can see the dye shining through. And what I really like on this material is that you get this character of these layers, which nearly flows from the cervical to the incisal area, without this problem that you can see the dye coming through. So, and that's what we do, is that we press it with Ambria in a really thin layer, and then we do a small cutback, and additionally we layer then with a Lumix, this margin area, some mamelon structures, whatever you want to do. You have every opportunity for that. And at the end, you get this character. You see, it looks good, and you can hardly see the dye, and the veneers are 0.4 millimeters in this central area here.
So it's very interesting. So they seem to be very thin, and there was no warping when you applied the VITA Lumix?
No, this is the next case. What I really, this this option what you have, even when you do inlays, I do them normally, and I'm one of these dinosaurs who's waxing up, without CAD CAM. I really love to wax up a crown like I did it here, and then when you press these veneers and you add at the end some Lumex and you fire them, then you don't get in trouble that they move somewhere or somehow. They keep stable in this position, how you got it modeled and pressed. It makes no difference. If you apply Lumex and fire it again, you always keep the same stability of this material.
Wow,
it absolutely don't move after the firing, so that's really great.
This sounds really good. And this case looks to me that you used also some staining. So which staining did you use?
So in this case, I used some accent stains, but see, only just for the fissures, So mostly people say, "Oh, why are you doing it?" Everybody wants it white. So this is what I don't. I'm not this guy who said, "Okay, I want to do everything in white." So okay, if the patient wants it, yeah, sure, okay. But normal patients, normal ones, they want to get it a little bit more natural. So that's why we used some stains in the fissure area. If you don't want to stain it and you keep it only in this one color, this is not a problem, because then you can polish them. You don't have to glaze them, So this is really nice because you don't need the glaze firing, because you can polish it with this enamic rubbers, for example, and a nice Gautier brush, and you can get it to a really high glaze. So this is really nice without firing them,
And because it looks to me that there are really thin edges, how did you grind the edges? Because sometimes I hear if you are too fast, too strong on the edges, you have a splittering or something. And you mentioned that they are really stable. What are you using, just for some customers?
So what we normally use is this turbo grinders for example, from Breda. They have it in green and they have it in yellow. And the yellow ones are a little bit harder. So it's more or less it's for zirconia frameworks to grind them a little bit. And we use them for Ambria because Ambria is so hard material. It's so stable that you can use one of these turbo grinders without any problems, and you can go right up to the edge and there happens nothing. So you get no fracturing on the edges. And that's what I really like, because for all the other materials I tried for pressing materials, I always had the same problem, that they fracture in the cervical areas, and so I really want to adjust my margins really, really thin and really fine. And for me, this is a perfect material for it, because I don't have to take so much attention or pay so much attention on my margin areas and that they are not fracturing all these things. And so that's why I do it with a turbo grinder.
Cool. And you showed now some veneer cases, some inlay cases. Do you have something else to show it to us?
For example, what's about my newest case for our courses this year? So perhaps one case only, because I love this case. There's only this one central, and you see that this the doctor hasn't prepped so much because it was a young girl, and about all this problems with the pulpa, and so he takes care not to prep too much. So mostly they do it, So that brings us in trouble sometimes, And so it was really, really exciting for us. So we have it here now from the first try-in, and here the finally cemented situation. And what I really liked on this case is, because I had nearly the same surface like the natural, so we come really close with these effects here. And the girl said, "Okay, look what." I love this ear crown much more than my own too. So it was really nice. It was nice for me, because I really like to hear that. So
it's really interesting that you copied the nature, and you even have a slightly like the crack on the other anterior crown. So it's really good, really good.
So that's what we always try to get really close. I mean, I think we never can copy the nature. This is arrogant to say we copy the nature, but what we try is we try to get really close to the natural style, and to get the light in. And it's one of this really big advantages of this material, that you get so much light in. And this for me is sometimes so it makes my job so. Anyway, I love my job. Even I'm really old, but I still love it. But, I love it. When I get these cases, and I said, "Wow, it looks great." So that makes my life and my dental life so nice.
And it looks really great.
Just a short look on this case. What we do in our course this year. We have this both centrals, and we have one of them is veneer, it's 0.3 veneer, and the other one is a crown based on zirconia. Both are layered with a Lumex, and so only just some slides, the surface structure and the morphologic things, build them in, and even here you see the influence of light.
Cool.
The shining of the light, and what I wanted to show is this is actual case, because this is a normal case we did, and you see it's like this integrated in the mouth. What we want to show is that you get a 0.3 or 0.4 veneer directly beside a zirconia crown, and there's no difference, no shade difference, and that's what I like on VITA materials. That's what you get, this perfect match, what you call it. This is what you really do really, really good. Man, I love these materials. That's a point.
Thank you. Really, and you guys out there in the internet, you hear how Juergen Freitak loves this material and how passionate he is with the material. And if you like to see him live in front of you, showing you how to work with the material, this was his course model. So you have a veneer, a thin veneer next to a zirconia frameworked crown. So these are the difficulties of the real life, of the real world. And if you want to learn how to work with this and how to receive a good result with the material in a course, in a training with Juergen, just write to VITA, to info@vita-zahnfabrik.com, or write in the comments below this Facebook post, and we will come back to you and give you the chance to see Juergen live and get a training from him. And I say thanks to you and thanks to Juergen, and please tell your wife that I was just kidding.
I know, my friend, I know. Thanks for everybody outside, and hoping to see a lot of people this year on the course or wherever. I'm always happy to see. I see so many people again on the course, from last years, and I'm always happy to see you again. And I wish everybody outside there, I wish you all the best, and keep in good health.
Yeah, stay in touch, and thanks, Juergen, again, and see you next time here on
Okay.
VITA
Bye-bye.
Social TV. Bye.
Bye.